Hey, welcome to Areominute. My name is Brooke. I'm a first officer here at Northright. I currently fly the Twin Otter and I'm soon to be trained on the Beechcraft 1900. It is a windy and snowy day here at Northright, but today we're talking about Hermans. The Herman is the only true off-grid heater designed for the most brutal winter conditions. Basically, a Herman is an engine, a gas tank, and two big hoses that direct very hot air anywhere you want it to go. Hermans have come a long way. The old Hermans used to actually have the gas tank on top of the heat source, which is obviously the worst design flaw. The new ones that we use today are much more functional and they can run off of many different types of fuel. You've likely seen a Herman Nelson before, even if you don't spend much time at the airport. It's one of those things that once you start to see them, they show up everywhere. Generally, they're used for heating large spaces fairly quickly. So they're commonly used on construction sites, for thawing frozen houses, or in our case, for heating up planes to make it more comfortable for our passengers and our crew before takeoff. Basically, they're massive heaters that are widely used in industrial settings in colder climates. When there's a flight leaving soon, the first thing we do is put the Herman on. We usually keep them outside next to the plane they're meant for. A Herman can heat up a plane in 10 minutes. Depending on how cold it is though, it can take over an hour to heat it up. We always give ourselves enough time to properly heat up the plane so that our passengers and crew are comfortable. Let's talk about setup. The first thing you do is pull the Herman over to the plane. Usually you want two people considering they weigh over 500 pounds. Each Herman has two hoses. Depending on how cold it is outside, you might want one hose or you might want two hoses. With the hoses in place, we can now turn on the Herman. Now pay attention to this part because it's really tricky. First, plug it in. Next, flip the switch. When the flight is ready to go, we take the Herman off, the pilots jump in, start the plane up to save as much heat as possible. As the plane taxis away, we reset the Herman by stowing the hoses and returning it to its home back on the ramp. They're a staple in northern aviation, and there's nothing like feeling that hot air on a cold winter morning. All in all, operating a Herman is something that every Northright Air pilot will some point do in their career. Thanks for tuning into Areominute. We hope that you found it useful or at least found it entertaining. Thanks for flying with us today, and we'll see you next time.